What is going on, Bucks fans? Evan Wanish here, back at you with yet another video talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we had highlighted whether or not Todd Bowles would be on the hot seat this upcoming season. But I want to talk about something a little different today, but in the same realm, I guess. And that's talking about Jason Licht, general manager Jason Licht, and whether or not he would potentially be on the hot seat this upcoming season if it does not go according to plan. Now, Jason Licht has been with the team since 2014, a long time, almost 10 years at this point. Hard to believe. Time is flying by there. But Jason Licht has seen quite a bit during his time with the Buccaneers. He has been through four head coaches. He has drafted a quarterback number one overall. He has let that quarterback walk in free agency. He has signed the greatest quarterback of all time, and he has won a Super Bowl with the team. It is pretty wild the career path that Jason Licht has taken so far. Obviously hired in 2014 after Lovie Smith was hired, so it was kind of Lovie Smith had a hand in it. It was partly Lovie Smith's choice. The team does not do well that season, 2-14. His first draft pick, though, Jason Licht's first draft pick was Mike Evans, and they ended up drafting Jameis Winston, had the whole Jameis Winston era. Jason Licht fires Lovie Smith, hires Dirk Cutter. Now, when you're a general manager, you normally get one shot at hiring your own head coach. Normally, like a lot of times, the NFL is a "What have you done for me lately" league, and you typically see general managers get one shot at picking their own head coach. And if that doesn't work, the head coach is out the door, and so is the general manager. In this case, though, Jason Licht was able to hire Dirk Cutter because Jason Licht did not hire Lovie Smith. He was able to hire Dirk Cutter. And Dirk Cutter was fired after 3 seasons, going 9-7, and then two straight 5-11 seasons. But Jason Licht wasn't fired. They held on to Jason Licht partially because the Glazers thought that it helped their case to lure Bruce Arians out of retirement, and guess what? It worked. So, but also Jason Licht had built a solid team. There was a lot of young talent on the team, like Mike Evans, like Chris Godwin, even Jameis Winston at the time, Ali Marpet, Donovan Smith, Levante David was still here, even though Levante David was not drafted by Jason Licht. Jason Licht did end up resigning him. Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean. So there was, even though, okay, Dean was 2019. But Carlton Davis was there. Vita Vea was there. So there was a lot of talent on the team. So Bruce Arians comes in. They go 7-9 the first year. Second year, they sign Tom Brady. You know the rest. But I want to talk about whether or not Jason Licht is on the hot seat now because Bruce Arians retired. Jason Licht hired Todd Bowles. That is a Jason Licht hire. I think that if Jason Licht wasn't comfortable with hiring Todd Bowles, I think it would have been very unconventional because it was very late, like in the head coaching cycle period. But I do think they would have just went to hire somebody else. I don't necessarily think that Jason Licht was forced to hire Todd Bowles. Was he maybe leaned in that direction? Maybe, possibly, but I don't think he was forced to hire Todd Bowles. So with that being said, after an 8-9 season, when you have Tom Brady on the roster, how bad does things have to get for Todd Bowles for Jason Licht to potentially be on the hot seat with Todd Bowles this upcoming season? And I honestly, I'm going to say it's the same for Jason Licht, even though I do think Jason Licht has a little bit more leeway. I think there's more of a chance that Todd Bowles could be let go at the end of the season than Jason Licht is, unless things are really bad. If the Buccaneers are winning 1 or 2 or 3 games, this upcoming season, I think all bets are off then. I think you could see Todd Bowles. I think Todd Bowles would definitely go. And I think you could see Jason Licht depart as well and just do like a full house cleaning. But if they win 5, 6 games, that's an instance where I could see Todd Bowles going and Jason Licht still staying and getting yet another crack at it. Because, I mean, look, he built a Super Bowl winning roster, and everybody says, "Oh, well," a lot of the people outside of Tampa, I should say that, "Well, it's easy when you sign Tom Brady and you trade for Rob Gronkowski and you sign Antonio Brown and Leonard Fournette." He built a team that was attractive enough for Tom Brady to want to come to. So he built the team in the first place. The team was built largely before Tom Brady got there. They just added a few pieces and won the Super Bowl. Did Tom Brady help? Heck yeah. But that's not the whole story. It's not like they signed Tom Brady and then boom, the entire team was full of a bunch of free agents and trade acquisitions all because Tom Brady was there. No, they were built largely based on the draft. So I do think that Jason Light's seat is not nearly as warm as Todd Bowles is. So I do think that ultimately Jason Light should be safe unless, like I said, things go really bad. Then you never know. At that point, if things go really bad, then I just think the Glazers may look at it and say, "Hey, let's just cut our losses and move on and usher in a brand new era." But I do think Jason Light has done a good enough job. He's kept a core nucleus of players, and he's drafted well, even though the 2021 draft and 2022 drafts are still to be determined. 2021 maybe not so great with like the Kyle Trask pick, and there's still a lot of answers at quarterback. There's still a lot of answers or questions at quarterback that need answering, I should say, and maybe eventually we will get those. But I have to think at this point, Jason Light is still gonna be the guy to lead the Buccaneers even if Todd Bowles isn't the guy. So while it is very interesting case and a case you don't see very often, I think there's a real chance that Jason Light could end up picking his fifth head coach if Todd Bowles, well, actually picking what technically his fourth because he didn't pick Lovie Smith, but could be through his fifth head coach as general manager before the 2023 or before the 2024 season, I should say, which is pretty wild because, like I said, GMs typically don't get that. But it's an interesting case with Jason Light. It's a unique case where the roster's pretty good. It's just there's a few things that may end up their shortcomings may be a bit too much to overcome for Todd Bowles, and they may move on from him. And I think it was the same with Dirk Cutter. I do know that there was a lot of heat on Jason Light towards the end of the Dirk Cutter era, and there was consideration, I believe, to fire Jason Light after that, but they didn't. And I'm glad that the Glazers didn't. I think the Glazers made the right decision. Obviously, got Bruce Arians in here, drafted Tristan Wirfs, drafted Antoine Winfield Jr. That's Jason Light right there. His free agent acquisitions have been pretty solid after, like the early years weren't so great, but as he's gotten more seasoned in the game, I guess you could say, his free agency acquisitions have been better. So, what do you think of Jason Light? Do you think he could be on the hot seat this coming season if it doesn't go according to plan, or do you think he's safe altogether? Let me know what you think of the job that Jason Light has done so far. Obviously, winning the Super Bowl is going to buy you some time. I think this year is a critical year for Light because I do think if they don't do well, you could see him maybe stay, but be on the warm seat going into 2024, possibly. So let me know what you guys think about the job Jason Light has done and whether or not he'll be on the hot seat. Do you want to see Jason Light on the hot seat? Do you think it may be time for a change? Or do you think that, hey, the Buccaneers should stick with this and see where it goes? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and talk soon.